Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about Flame of Recca Episode 1. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so before we start, do me a favor. If you want to support us in making these videos, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps us out. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing because why not? We're here to stay. And lastly, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of our uploads. With that said, let's get into it. So first, the episode starts off with a prologue, which basically shows us a very young infant being sent into the future by the dying members of the Hokage ninja clan. Seems like they're sending him away to preserve their bloodline. Then our story jumps 400 years into the future, where we meet our protagonist, Recca Hanabishi. He is a hot-headed high school student who loves all things related to ninjas. He is known for getting into street fights and also has this tendency to yell Konoha before doing something, which is pretty funny to be honest. During one such fight, he manages to beat up 3 guys effortlessly and then declares that whoever defeats him will become his loyal ninja. Of course, nobody takes him seriously, and they end up beating him. Later, while walking home, Rekka spots a beautiful girl named Yanagi Sakoshita sitting alone on a nearby rooftop, and immediately he feels attracted to her. You know, typical shonen protagonist thing. When he asks her why she's there, she responds that she likes the view from up there. And suddenly a flashback shows us that Yanagi has the mysterious power to heal others' injuries just by touching them. This power of hers has made her somewhat of a healer for the underground fighters, even though she doesn't really like the whole violence thing. As she tries to leave, Rekka teases her and accidentally loses his balance, falling off the building. Luckily, though, Yanagi uses her abilities to save him and heal his wounds. And you know, when you save someone's life, they become indebted to you forever, right? Well, at least that's what Rekka thinks. And so he immediately decides that she will be his hime, princess, much to her annoyance. But despite that, he does vow to protect her. And honestly, it's kind of sweet. The next day at school, Rekka finds out that Yanagi had been taken to the nurse's office by some guy and he goes to check on her. Turns out the guy was just worried about her because he liked her. And although Rekka doesn't take kindly to that, he lets it slide when he sees that the guy has left. However, he then notices some bandages around Yanagi's arms, and she admits that she got hurt while trying to help someone. Rekka becomes angry upon hearing this and runs off, yelling about how she shouldn't put herself in danger for other people. Honestly, the way he's acting, you'd think that Yanagi was his fiancée or something, but it's been established that they are not related by blood and have no romantic feelings for each other yet. So yeah, it's weird. Anyways, after leaving the school, Rekka bumps into that same guy again, Kazuki, who was apparently looking for Yanagi, and this time he challenges him to a fight, demanding that he stay away from Yanagi. Now, despite being hot-headed, Rekka isn't actually a coward, and so when Kazuki accepts his challenge, he tells him that he'll wait for him after school. But you won't believe what happens next. A mysterious woman named Kage Hoshi suddenly appears and easily defeats both of them. Even more shocking is the fact that she seems to know Rekka's father, who we later find out is the legendary Hokage ninja. She also reveals that she has something to do with the Hokage's ancient weapons called Madogu. And here's where things get interesting. Because when Kage attacks Rekka, it causes his powers to awaken. Turns out that he can control fire. And when he uses this newfound power against her, she becomes intrigued and decides to take him under her wing. So I guess now she's his mentor or something. In the meantime, we also learn that the reason Kage is interested in Rekka is because she believes that he can help her find the Madogu that was passed down to him from his father. Basically, it's a super powerful weapon that was split into 7 pieces and hidden away to prevent anyone from obtaining its immense power. However, a man named Karan Mori is searching for all 7 fragments, and Kage believes that Rekka's father may have hidden one of them. Speaking of Kage, she decides to test Rekka's abilities and strength and takes him along with her and Yanagi on a mission. Their target is a ninja named Shion, who is in possession of a scroll that could potentially lead them to one of the Madugu fragments. Kage easily defeats Shion and retrieves the scroll, but she doesn't kill him out of mercy. Then, while everyone is resting for the night, Rekka looks over the scroll and discovers that it contains information about a tournament that's being held in a few days. It's called the Ninja Grand Festival, and apparently it's quite prestigious. Rekka becomes excited about the prospect of fighting other ninjas and immediately decides that they should participate. However, Kage is less than thrilled about the idea, and when she asks him why he wants to go, he responds by saying that he wants to prove himself to her. That answer doesn't sit well with Kage, and she tells him that she only accepted him as a student because he reminds her of someone else. It's clear that she has some deep-seated feelings towards the Hokage clan, possibly because of their past association with her family. Then, when Rekka goes to tell Yanagi about the upcoming tournament, he notices that she has disappeared. Turns out she went to look for him, but seeing that he was asleep, decided to sneak into his room instead. They share a cute moment together, but it's quickly ruined by the sudden appearance of Kazuki. And once again, Rekka challenges him to a fight. However, before the two can leave, Kage stops them and tells them that she has something important to tell them. She finally reveals that she's a member of the Karan clan, the same clan as the main antagonist, Karan Mori. And she also admits that she was the one who saved Rekka from falling off the building earlier. In fact, she's been watching over him for quite some time now. With that revelation, the episode comes to an end, and we are left with a cliffhanger. As Kage explains that she believes Rekka can help her obtain the Madug, which will allow her to revive her younger brother who died during the war between the Hokage and Karan clans 400 years ago. Basically, the central conflict of the series has been set up, and it's clear that Rekka's destiny is now intertwined with the quest for the Madugu. Also, it seems like the series will explore themes of fate and destiny as Rekka comes to terms with his role as the son of the legendary Hokage ninja. Additionally, the ending leaves us wondering about the true intentions of Kage and whether she is truly on the side of good or if she will ultimately betray Rekka and choose to revive her brother using the power of the Madugu. Well, that's it for our recap of Episode 1. Let us know what you think about the series so far. Do you like the plot? What about the characters? Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe because why not? We're here to stay and we would love to have you join our growing family. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Bye. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going to do a full recap of Flame of Recca Episode 2 titled Wind and Fire, A Dangerous Seduction. As always, before we start off, make sure to leave a like. And if you haven't already, then consider subscribing. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Last time we saw Rekka, he was returning home from buying cigarettes for his mom when he stopped to help out a cat stuck on a roof. It turned out to be a trap set by some punks who tried to mug him, but Rekka defended himself using his fire abilities. At the end of the episode, we learned that he attends an academy where other students have similar mystical abilities. In Episode 2, we see that the school is having a festival. We are introduced to a new character, Fuko Kirisawa, who is a classmate of Rekka's. She is beautiful with long pink hair and wears glasses. While being considered a genius, she is very competitive and hot-headed. She walks past Rekka and comments on how annoying he is because he's a ninja otaku and is getting all the attention. She declares that she will beat him and become the strongest. We later learn that she is ranked first in their class. Later, we see Fuko walking alone through a dark alleyway when she is approached by the mysterious antagonist, Kage Hoshi. He compliments her skills and tells her that she is strong enough to be his vessel, asking if she wants to obtain ultimate power. Flashback to earlier in the episode, we see that Rekka and his childhood friend, Yanagi, were walking together when they noticed Kage Hoshi following them. Yanagi became nervous because she sensed that he was dangerous. She told Rekka to meet her at the festival's fireworks display so she could tell him something important. Kage Hoshi finds Fuko alone again and tells her that he is interested in taking her to the festival, but she refuses. He doesn't insist and simply tells her that he will show her great power that will surpass anything she can imagine. Then he hands her a box and says that it will help her surpass Rekka, who has been causing her frustration. She asks what he means, and he only smiles mysteriously. She opens the box to find a simple bracelet that looks like a flower. Once she puts it on, it disappears, and she feels a strange sensation on her arms. He explains that this is a madug, a mystical device that channels and enhances abilities. This one is called the Fujin, or Wind God. He tells her that it will allow her to defeat Rekka and prove her strength. She accepts it and becomes excited to use its power. We see that Rekka and his friends, Domon and Yanagi, are at the festival eating food and enjoying themselves. Rekka is happy to spend time with his friends and forgets about his troubles for a moment. Yanagi tells Rekka that she needs to speak with him alone and leads him away from the festival. She tells him that she wants him to promise that no matter what happens, he will not give up on protecting the important people in his life. She says that she has feelings for him and that she will do whatever it takes to protect him, even if it means sacrificing herself. Rekka is moved by her confession and promises to protect her no matter what. Suddenly, Fuko appears and shouts for Rekka, calling him out to the school grounds after dark. She challenges him to a one-on-one fight where the loser must leave school. She throws a shuriken at him, and he narrowly dodges it. She attacks again with more shurikens, but he continues to dodge them. She becomes frustrated and tells him that he is annoying her. She takes off her blazer and tells him that he has had enough time to run away, and now he will die. Rekka tries to attack her with his fire abilities, but they seem to be blocked by an invisible force field around her. She easily defeats him and tells him that she is stronger than he is. Just as she is about to deliver the final blow, the mind control orb inside the Fujin glows. Fuko stops attacking and becomes confused. She hears a voice in her head telling her to destroy Rekka. She becomes enraged and tells him that she will crush him. As Fuko continues to attack, Rekka struggles to defend himself. He thinks about Yanagi's confession and realizes that he cannot give up. Suddenly, the orb glows again, and Fuko freezes. Rekka takes this opportunity to attack and break the orb, freeing her from mind control. She regains consciousness and apologizes for attacking him. She admits that she lost control and thanks him for saving her. Meanwhile, Kage Hoshi watches the battle from afar and becomes angry when the orb is destroyed. He vows revenge on Rekka. Suddenly, a new character appears, Tokiya Mikagami, who is a cool and collected swordsman. Tokiya confronts Rekka and tells him that he knows about the fight. He reveals that he knows about the Hokage clan and their abilities and tells Rekka that he has something that belongs to him. Rekka becomes suspicious and asks who he is. Tokiya only smiles mysteriously and tells him that they will meet again. He then disappears into the darkness. Tokiya reappears in front of Kage Hoshi and tells him that he is getting in his way. He attacks Kage Hoshi with his sword, and the two engage in a fierce battle. Kage Hoshi tells Tokiya that he will regret challenging him and disappears into the shadows. The next day at school, Rekka and his friends are talking about the events of the previous night when Fuko approaches them. She apologizes again for attacking Rekka and admits that she still wants to beat him. She tells him that she is serious about becoming stronger and asks if he will train with her. He accepts and tells her that he will teach her how to control her powers. She becomes happy and joins his group. Later, while walking home from school, Rekka and Yanagi are confronted by a group of delinquents. They had been watching Rekka and wanted to challenge him to a fight. Suddenly, Fuko appears and tells them that she will fight them instead. She easily defeats them and tells them to stay away from Rekka. He thanks her for helping him, and she smiles back. As the episode comes to a close, we see that Tokiya is watching them from afar. He tells himself that he must get stronger in order to protect those important to him. He then disappears into the shadows. And that's going to be it for the second episode recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you guys think of Fuko? Do you think Tokiya is an ally or an enemy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, then consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Welcome back to another episode of Flame of Rekka. This is your host, and today we have a special treat. Today we'll be recapping the third episode, which is called The Water Swordsman, The Fang of Revenge. Now, the second episode ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, so I'm excited to see where they go with this in the third episode. So without further ado, let's jump into it. The episode opens up with Rekka and his group still running from the assassin after he nearly killed Rekka in the last episode. They reach a dead end and prepare for battle. But before they can strike, the swordsman lands a swift kick to Rekka's chest, sending him flying. Yanagi is horrified, but the swordsman remains calm and composed as he prepares to deliver the final blow. However, he is stopped when the other assassin leaps in front of him. She demands an explanation, and he tells her that since she has failed her mission, he will finish it himself. The swordsman then draws his weapon and gets ready to take out Rekka once and for all. But wait, what is this? Just then, a massive amount of water bursts out of the ground and knocks both assassins away. Emerging from the water is a cool and calm swordsman named Tokiya Mikagami. He explains that he was watching them the whole time and says that he will take care of these two intruders. Rekka's group is grateful for the help, but they are also curious about where he came from and how he manipulated the water to attack the others. Tokiya notices Rekka's questioning gaze and introduces himself. He also tells them that his name means eternity. He says that his last name symbolizes the endless possibilities of water. Tokiya then turns his attention back to the assassins and asks them to apologize for trespassing. One of the assassins refuses and says that they have a death wish. Tokiya responds that if they want to die, then they should show him how. Suddenly, one of the assassins makes a threatening gesture towards Tokiya. In response, Tokiya strikes quickly and defeats him with a single move. The other assassin is shocked by Tokiya's strength and tries to escape, but Tokiya is too quick for her and catches up to her easily. He pins her down and apologizes for hurting her, but insists that he must do what he must do. As he prepares to deliver the final blow, the assassin begs for mercy, claiming that she is a mere pawn in a larger game. Tokiya doesn't care, though, and is ready to kill her when the other assassin interferes. She confesses everything, including the fact that they were hired by Kage Hoshi. She admits that she is the one who tried to kill Rekka at the beginning of the episode and reveals that her partner was sent by Kage Hoshi to eliminate Tokiya. Tokiya is furious and runs off to find her. Tokiya eventually tracks Kage Hoshi to a nearby building and confronts her. He demands answers, but she only taunts him, saying that he is nothing but a fool. Suddenly, Tokiya feels something strange and looks down to see that his hands are covered in blood. Turns out that the assassin that he just fought had a small cut on her arm, and he must have pressed against it while he had her pinned. The sight of the blood triggers a flashback in Tokiya, and he remembers the face of his sister. With renewed determination, he vows to make her pay. Kage Hoshi watches him go and smirks, knowing that she has played him like a puppet. As Tokiya runs through the forest, he comes across Yanagi and Fuko. They are surprised to see him, but he ignores them and continues on his path. Fuko decides to follow him, and soon the two are walking side by side. Tokiya reveals that he has been searching for the one who killed his sister for the past 6 years. When he heard about a Hokage ninja who had come to the village, he thought that he had finally found his culprit and began stalking Rekka. He had decided to wait until the perfect moment to strike, and that time had come. Tokiya says that he does not care about the machinations of the higher-ups or about saving the world. His only focus is revenge. Fuko understands his pain and tells him that he doesn't have to carry that burden alone. Meanwhile, Rekka and Yanagi are confronted by the two assassins that they had previously fought. One of the assassins, the man, attacks Rekka, but Rekka manages to dodge his attacks with ease. He asks the man why he wants to kill him, to which the man replies that it is none of his business. The fight continues, and Rekka eventually gains the upper hand. He pins the man down and demands an explanation. The man refuses to cooperate, but Rekka's patience is wearing thin. He loses control of his emotions and unleashes a powerful fire attack. The man is taken aback by the sudden outburst, but he recovers quickly and tries to counterattack. However, he is no match for Rekka's power and is soon defeated. Just as Rekka is about to deliver the final blow, the woman assassin steps in and begs him to stop. She explains that they were hired to take out Rekka and that their employer would not hesitate to hire someone else to do the job if they failed. The woman then reveals that their employer is Kage Hoshi, the same person that Tokiya is looking for. Rekka is shocked, but before he can react, the woman attacks him. The fight continues, and Rekka eventually gets the upper hand. He pins the woman down and demands an explanation. The woman refuses to cooperate, but Rekka's patience is wearing thin. He loses control of his emotions and unleashes a powerful fire attack. The woman is taken aback by the sudden outburst, but she recovers quickly and tries to counterattack. However, she is no match for Rekka's power and is soon defeated. Kage Hoshi is watching the fight unfold from afar and smirks. She is pleased with how things are going and decides to intervene. She steps forward and reveals herself to the group. Rekka is furious and demands that she explain everything. Kage Hoshi obliges and reveals that she was the one who hired the assassins to take out Rekka. She also reveals that she is the one who killed Tokiya's sister. Tokiya is shocked and runs towards Kage Hoshi, but she disappears into thin air. Before he can react, he is hit by a kunai and falls to the ground. Suddenly, a dark figure emerges from the shadows and introduces himself as Koran Mori. He is the leader of the group and the one who hired Kage Hoshi to take out Rekka. Mori reveals that he was the one who killed Tokiya's sister, and that he is the reason why Tokiya has been so determined to get revenge. Mori says that he plans to use Yanagi's healing powers to gain immortality and that he wants Rekka and Tokiya to join him. He believes that together, they can become the strongest ninja clan in the world. Rekka refuses and attacks Mori, but he is no match for the villain's powers. Mori easily dodges Rekka's attacks and taunts him, telling him that he is too weak to save Yanagi. Just then, Tokiya steps in and challenges Mori to a one-on-one fight. Mori accepts, and the two engage in a fierce battle. Meanwhile, Rekka watches in amazement as Tokiya and Mori fight each other to a standstill. Suddenly, Mori makes a move to capture Yanagi, but Rekka steps in and stops him. The two fight, and Mori eventually gains the upper hand. He is about to deliver the final blow when Tokiya intervenes. The three of them work together to defeat Mori, and he is forced to retreat. After Mori leaves, the three of them take some time to catch their breath. Rekka thanks Tokiya for helping him defeat Mori, and the two become friends. Together, they vow to rescue Yanagi and defeat Mori once and for all. And there we have it, folks. That was a full recap of Episode 3 of Flame of Rekka. What did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps support the channel. I also want to say a special thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. You guys are helping us to bring these videos to everyone for free, so thank you so much. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Until next time, take care. In today's episode, we get our first look at what happened to Yanagi after she was taken. And things are not looking good. Let's start off the recap. Yanagi wakes up in an enormous bedroom. Beautiful, but at the same time, very lonely. She gets up and heads over to the window to find out where she is. It turns out she's no longer in town and is actually deep in the mountains. Yanagi says to herself that it's quite the luxurious room, but she can't help but feel uneasy about it all. Just then, Kure enters the room. Yanagi asks him, "Who am I? Where am I?" Kure replies, "I guess it's time to wake up." He explains that he's the one who saved her and that she's currently at her savior's house. Yanagi doesn't remember anything and asks Kurai if he could help her out. She says that if he helps her regain her memory, she'll do whatever it takes to repay the debt. Kurai looks happy to hear this and tells her that he'll gladly help her. But then he reveals his true colors and declares that he was only pretending to be nice. He says that he actually hates her guts and tells her that she needs to stay right where she is because her father won't be happy if she leaves. Yanagi is shocked to hear that the person who brought her here isn't her savior, but rather someone who wants to keep her locked up. She tries to attack, but it's no use. Kuri easily defeats her and knocks her out. We cut to earlier in the day. Rekka is furious upon learning that Yanagi has been taken. He runs outside saying that he'll get her back even if it's the last thing he does. Fuko stops him and says that it's no use running off like that. They need a plan. Suddenly, Kage Hoshi appears and tells Rekka that there's no need to worry, because he already knows where Yanagi is. Rekka asks if he knew all along, and why he didn't tell him sooner. Kage Hoshi replies that it wasn't the right time to tell him before. Now it's time to go. Rekka and the others are surprised when Kage Hoshi reveals the location of Kuran Mori's mansion. He says that they're close by, and that they should head there right away. Rekka thanks Kage Hoshi for the intel and runs off with Domon and Fuko to rescue Yanagi. As they run through the forest, they come across a gigantic mansion. Rekka is shocked and says that this place gives him the creeps. Fuko agrees, but says that they have no choice but to go inside. Rekka says that he'll rescue Yanagi no matter what, and charges ahead. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, Carrie informs Koren Mori that Yanagi has woken up. Koren Mori is happy to hear this and says that he'll meet her soon. He walks over to a mirror and talks to his reflection. Koren Mori says that soon he'll obtain the power to control the flames and become immortal. He looks down at a shriveled old plant and says that once he has Yanagi's power, he'll revive this flower. Back in the present, Rekka, Fuko, and Domon are walking through the mansion trying to find the others. Suddenly, the floor gives way and they fall down into a basement. They land next to some other kids who introduce themselves as servants of the house. One of them warns them to leave or else they'll end up like their master. Rekka says that he'll take them on one by one if he has to, but suddenly the ground shakes and monsters pop out of the walls. The three friends are separated and now have to fight their way through the mansion to reunite. We follow Rekka as he narrowly escapes the grasp of a giant slug monster. He hides behind a pillar and catches his breath. Suddenly, a new enemy appears and introduces himself as Genjuro, the master of the Idaten. He wields a fan and a wooden box that contains 8 mirrors called Idaten. Rekka isn't impressed and says that he'll burn both him and those mirrors to the ground. Genjuro reveals the true nature of the mirrors and says that they allow him to see and manipulate the user's deepest fears and insecurities. He says that he can even bring them to life. Genjuro reveals the name of his ability, Idaten no Jikan, the time of the mirrors. Genjuro uses his mirrors to show Rekka all the times he couldn't protect Yanagi. He says that these memories are proof that he's a failure as a warrior and friend. These visions cause actual damage to Rekka, leaving wounds on his body that burn with a blue flame. Genjuro reveals that these flames are the result of Rekka losing his confidence. He says that he's afraid of being alone and will never be strong enough to protect his friends. Rekka refuses to listen and continues to deny his feelings. Genjuro grows impatient and says that it's time to end this. He activates all the mirrors at once, causing massive illusions to appear. Rekka is confused and doesn't know which direction to run in. He bumps into a wall and cries out in pain. The visions of Yanagi encourage him to keep going, but the pain is too much for Rekka to bear. Genjuro taunts him and says that his friends never wanted him to begin with. Rekka loses hope and falls to his knees. Genjuro prepares for the final blow, but before he could strike, Fuko appears and shouts for Rekka to snap out of it. Her voice helps Rekka to calm down a bit, and he starts to think clearly again. Rekka tells her to leave, but she refuses. Rekka realizes that he can't win if he keeps doubting himself. He harnesses all his power and creates a huge ball of fire. He throws it at the mirrors, burning them and revealing their true forms. Genjuro is shocked to see the flames getting stronger instead of disappearing. Rekka says that he can still fight, and that his flames will burn brighter than the moonlight. Using his fire, Rekka burns a hole through the ceiling and escapes the labyrinth. We cut to a few minutes later, where we see Rekka, Fuko, and Domon reunite. They're all injured and exhausted. However, they're happy to be reunited. Fuko says that they have to hurry up because she has a bad feeling about this. Suddenly, the ground shakes and the trio runs outside to find an army of slug monsters waiting for them. One of them grabs Fuko and the others chase after Rekka. The episode ends with Rekka charging into battle, vowing to save Yanagi no matter the cost. And that's gonna do it for today's episode. Next time on Flame of Rekka, we're gonna see Rekka and the gang delve deeper into the mansion and face more of its horrors. The animation for this episode was actually really good and really helped sell the story. All the action scenes were well animated and easy to follow, which is important for a fight-heavy shonen anime. The pacing of the episode was a bit odd. It felt like it dragged in some parts and rushed in others. For example, the fight with Genjuro could have been stretched out a bit more. Overall, though, it was a solid episode. We got some much-needed character development for Rekka, and we finally got to see what happened to Yanagi after she was taken. I'm excited to see how Rekka deals with his inner demons and how he grows as a person. I also want to see more of Kuran Mori. He seems like a really interesting villain. Well, that's all I've got for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, see ya. Welcome back to our channel where we bring you the hottest and latest anime recaps. Today, we are back with another exciting episode recap of Flame of Rekka. In last episode, Rekka and his friends found themselves trapped inside the labyrinth of mirrors where they had to face the mysterious Suiren. After many battles, Rekka managed to defeat Suiren and get away. But now they have escaped into the unknown parts of Kuran Mori's mansion. Will they be able to navigate through this hellish mansion? Let's find out in today's episode. Episode starts with Rekka, Domon, and Fuko, who have successfully come out of the labyrinth of mirrors. They find themselves in a spacious room with white walls and an exquisite chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Suddenly, the ground beneath them gives way, and they fall down into a dark abyss. When they regain their senses, they find themselves in a strange garden filled with tombstones. Each of them is separated, and now they must face their own challenges. As they walk deeper into the garden, the atmosphere becomes heavy with tension. Rekka finds himself face to face with his next opponent, the blind killer, Reiha. Before attacking, Reiha introduces himself and explains how he has been waiting for Rekka. He says that he will make quick work of Rekka and that no one will even know what hit him. Then he charges towards Rekka with his weapon, the Madog of Ice. Rekka tries to fight back, but he quickly realizes that he is at a disadvantage. Reiha's ice magic is nullifying his fire magic and freezing everything around him. To make matters worse, Reiha is a master of stealth and can sense Rekka's movements through sound and smell, making it almost impossible for Rekka to land a hit. Despite being outnumbered, Rekka refuses to give up. With his back against a frozen lake, Rekka concentrates all of his power and unleashes a massive fireball towards Reiha. But the moment the fireball comes into contact with the cold air, it immediately starts to freeze and lose its power. Rekka struggles to keep his fire magic from freezing, but it's no use. Reiha leaps into the air and brings his ice-covered naginata down on Rekka, sending him crashing to the ground. As he lies there, frozen and defeated, Rekka thinks back to his training with his father and the other members of his clan. He remembers the teachings of the old ninja and the importance of using all of one's senses, not just their eyes. Rekka realizes that he has been relying too much on his fire magic and not enough on his instincts. He had forgotten the true meaning of being a ninja, using every tool at their disposal to overcome any obstacle. With newfound determination, Rekka gets back up on his feet and prepares to take on Reiha once again. This time, he will not rely on brute force alone. he will use his mind and his instincts to outwit his opponent. Rekka, confident in his victory, taunts Rekka, challenging him to do his best. He reveals that he has been tracking Rekka since he arrived at the mansion and has been waiting for this moment. Rekka says that Rekka's friends are already dead and that he will soon join them. Enraged by Rekka's arrogance, Rekka unleashes a powerful kick, knocking his opponent off balance. Rekka continues his assault, raining down a barrage of punches and kicks that Rekka struggles to defend against. However, Rekka remains calm, sensing Rekka's every move with his keen hearing and smell. Just when it seems that Rekka has the upper hand, Rekka suddenly vanishes. Startled, Rekka turns around to try to locate his opponent, but he is unable to sense him anywhere. Realizing that he is in danger, Rekka leaps away from where he was standing just as a barrage of icicles rained down on the spot where he was just standing. Rekka appears from the shadows and lunges towards Rekka with his ice-coated naginata raised high above his head. The tip of the naginata glows with an eerie blue light as it comes crashing down on Rekka. Trapped between a rock and a hard place, Rekka closes his eyes and braces for impact. However, the blow never comes. Instead, he hears the sound of shattering ice. Confused, Rekka opens his eyes to see that the icicles and Rekka's naginata are both coated in flames, and standing over him is Fuko, who has unleashed her own fire magic. Fuko tells Rekka that he is not strong enough to defeat Rekka, and she will not allow him to harm him. Rekka, however, is not afraid. He welcomes the challenge and prepares to fight Fuko. Fuko unleashes a barrage of fireballs, but Rekka easily dodges them, countering with his own ice magic. Icicles shoot out from the ground, forcing Fuko to jump over them. The fight between Fuko and Rekka continues, with neither of them giving an inch. Meanwhile, Rekka regains his senses and finds himself face down on the ground. As he slowly gets up, he notices that his clothes have been torn and his body is covered in bruises and cuts. Despite his injuries, Rekka refuses to give up. He knows that he needs to help Fuko, but he is unsure how. Suddenly, he remembers the advice given to him by the old ninja. Using all of one's senses, Rekka closes his eyes and listens intently. He can hear the clash of ice and fire magic, as well as the grunts and shouts of his opponents. Using this information, Rekka is able to locate Fuko and Rekka. He then begins to make his way towards them. As Rekka approaches, he sees that Fuko is struggling to keep up with Rekka. Her fire magic is not as strong as Rekka's ice magic, and she is starting to become exhausted. Realizing that Fuko needs help, Rekka jumps into the fight, distracting Rekka long enough for Fuko to recover. Together, Rekka and Fuko take on Rekka, and the three of them engage in a fierce battle. As the fight rages on, Rekka realizes that he needs to use his fire magic differently if he wants to stand a chance against Rekka. Instead of using large, flashy attacks, Rekka focuses on using small, precise bursts of fire. He also uses his fire magic to create a thick cloud of steam, which disorients Rekka's senses and makes it difficult for him to attack. Rekka's new strategy seems to be working, and he is able to land several hits on Rekka. However, Rekka is a skilled fighter, and he is able to recover quickly. Despite the odds, Rekka is determined to win. He knows that his friends are counting on him, and he is not going to let them down. As the battle reaches its climax, Rekka unleashes a powerful final attack, combining his fire magic with his martial arts skills. The attack catches Rekka off guard, and he is unable to defend himself. Rekka's attack hits home, and Rekka collapses to the ground, defeated. As Rekka stands over his fallen opponent, he has a choice to make. Rekka is clearly weakened and unable to fight back, and Rekka could end his life right here. However, as he looks down at Rekka sees a flicker of humanity in his eyes. He remembers the teachings of his father and the other members of his clan, and he knows that taking a life would go against everything he believes in. Instead of ending Rekka's life, Rekka chooses to spare him. He tells Raiha that he has fought well and that he deserves a chance at redemption. To his surprise, Raiha is grateful for Rekka's mercy. Oh, he had expected Rekka to end his life, but instead, Rekka had shown him compassion. Touched by Rekka's kindness, Raiha has a change of heart. He realizes that the world is not as black and white as he had believed, and that there is still good in people, despite their flaws. Raiha joins forces with Rekka and the others, helping them to navigate through the mansion and rescue those who have been taken by the evil sorcerer Koryan Mori. Together they face many challenges and defeat many enemies, eventually taking down Koryan Mori and freeing those he had held captive. In the end, Raiha is accepted by Rekka's friends and becomes a valuable member of their team. He uses his knowledge of the mansion and his fighting skills to help the group, and together they are able to succeed where others have failed. The episode ends with the group moving closer to their ultimate goal of rescuing Yanagi from the clutches of Koryan Mori and his son, Kurei. As they venture deeper into the mansion, they know that the challenges ahead will be even greater than before, but they are ready to face them together. And that's all for today's episode. What did you think of today's episode? Which character is your favorite? Comment below. We hope you enjoyed the recap. We will be back soon with another episode recap. Till then, stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm here with another full recap, and we're back with Flame of Rekka. This is episode 6, The Killer's Fury, The Fang of the Wind God. Last time we left off, Rekka and company were in the middle of Koryan Mori's mansion, where they had encountered one of his 4 guardians, a guy named Oboro. We saw some intense fighting from everyone, but eventually Rekka and Domon both had their moments where they had Oboro at their mercy. But before either of them could finish him off, though, this happened. And now we're back to see how this will affect things. But before we get into all that, make sure to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying our coverage of Flame of Rekka. Let's get right into it. As the episode begins, we pick up right where we left off last time. Rekka, Domon, and Fuko stand over Oboro, who has just been sealed away. Now they must hurry and find Yanagi before any of the other 3 guardians return. As they start to move out, though, they are stopped when suddenly a new opponent appears. This new enemy is a hulking warrior clad in black armor. He wields a large bladed weapon, and he introduces himself as Gashin, one of Koryan Mori's 4 heavenly kings. Now he says that it's thanks to him that Oboro was able to escape. And it turns out that Gashin actually made the trap that took Oboro away. So now Rekka and company have no choice but to take him on. Now initially, he seems kind of reluctant to fight Rekka, thinking that someone like him wouldn't be worthy of his blade. Instead, he wants to kill the girl with the most potential, Fuko. Now as soon as he makes this declaration, he goes straight on the offensive. Gashin moves very quickly, attacking with blinding speed. His weapon is extremely sharp, cutting apart pillars and sending debris flying everywhere. Fuko tries to counterattack with her Fujin, but Gashin is way too fast for her, and it looks like he might have actually cut off her arm. Luckily, it's not quite as bad as it seems, but she does end up blocking his attack at the last second. Now Gashin asks her if that's all she has, and tells her that she should really bring out the real thing. Rekka tells her to do it quick, because if she doesn't, Gashin is going to end up killing them all, and although she is scared, she knows that he's right. So summoning all of her courage, she calls upon the full power of the Fujin. This causes a huge burst of wind to erupt around Fuko, pushing Gashin back. Now he seems genuinely surprised that she was able to do this and says that she might actually be worth taking down herself. Then he gets serious, throwing himself directly into the fight. Now Fuko's initial attacks aren't working because of how fast Gashin is. He is literally deflecting her attacks like they're nothing. So now Fuko becomes even more determined and starts calling forth more and more of her power. This causes her hair to start flowing wildly as she lets loose a series of powerful wind attacks. These are definitely hurting Gashin, but he also is starting to enjoy the fight. He even admits that she may be the strongest one here and that he may have underestimated her. But he also warns her that this isn't enough to beat him. Just as she sends another attack toward him, though, he catches it with his blade, and this causes the screen to flash white. When it cuts back, we can see that Fuko and Gashin are locked in an intense struggle. It looks like the fight has become a stalemate, but Fuko knows that she can't keep this up forever. She needs a way to tip the scales in her favor. But before she can think of a plan, Gashin speaks up, saying that she shouldn't worry about it because he actually has a better idea. He jumps back a bit, giving her some space, which immediately puts Fuko on edge. He tells her to watch as he's going to show her the true power of his Goku Ryu. Gashin says that although her Madugu is certainly strong, it's actually quite similar to his, and that he'll show her what it means to wield the fangs of the great serpent of the sky. With that said, he strikes his sword down toward the ground. This causes the earth to shake as an immense amount of energy begins to gather beneath Fuko and her friends. She knows that something big is about to happen, but before she can react, Gashin strikes again, causing a huge pillar of earth to shoot up from the ground and come crashing down toward them. But luckily, Rekka is there to save the day. He uses his flames to blow the pillar apart. Gashin is impressed with Rekka's flames, but he says that it's nowhere near the level of his own Madug. He takes his blade and swings it once again, causing a huge explosion of demonic energy to erupt around them. Now that's everything they can do. They're going to have to work together if they want to defeat Gashin. Rekka's flames end up blinding Gashin for a moment, which allows Domon to send a huge punch flying toward him. Although Gashin does block it, he's clearly stunned from Rekka's surprise attack. And this allows Fuko to get in close and land a critical hit with the Fujin. This causes the ground to crack and Gashin to fall to his knees. Fuko is shocked, but she doesn't hesitate for a second. She drives her attack forward, delivering a massive, devastating blow that completely destroys Gashin. With that, he collapses, and the episode ends with the team moving forward. Now they've defeated yet another one of Karan Mori's subordinates, but they have no idea what's waiting for them just around the corner. But before we leave them off, though, let's take a quick look at the events that transpired during this episode. Overall, this was definitely one of the stronger episodes of this season so far. It started off pretty slow, but once Gashin showed up, things got really interesting. His design was cool, and I liked his personality. He was a good mix of confident and cocky without going overboard. He didn't talk too much, but he did make a point to needle Fuko throughout their fight, which added another layer of complexity to the battle. Speaking of Fuko, this episode was really all about her. We got to see her struggle with controlling her powers and having to face off against a tough opponent while battling her own inner demons. I thought that was done really well, and seeing her break down and actually let loose with the Fujin was pretty cool. Finally, the animation and fight choreography was top-notch. There were some seriously impressive shots, especially during the climax of the episode when Gashin was using his sword to control the earth itself. That was absolutely wild. However, I gotta say the ending of this episode left me a bit confused. Like, why did Karan Mori seal away his own guardian? And who is that guy watching them from afar? My guess is that Karan Mori probably sealed away Obito because he wasn't loyal or something. And that guy is probably one of the remaining guardians, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'm looking forward to next week's episode and seeing how they are going to deal with whatever this new development is. But that's going to do it for this recap. How do you feel about this episode? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I've been your host, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be covering Flame of Recca Episode 8, The Water Swordsman, The Fang of Revenge. This episode is available for streaming on Crunchyroll, so let's get right into the video. As usual, if you're watching this video, make sure you support the channel. Let's get started. Last time we saw our protagonist Rekka and his friends had just reunited with an old friend, Tokiya Mikagami. And together the four of them set off to continue their journey to find Yanagi, who has been kidnapped by the head of the Kurei clan, Kurei himself. But little do they know, the road ahead is about to get even more dangerous than ever before. The episode opens up with Rekka, Fuko, Domon, and Tokiya continuing their journey through the mansion. They're looking for Yanagi, but they have no idea where she could possibly be. The mansion is dark and gloomy, and the atmosphere is thick with tension. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a large rock falls from above and lands directly in front of them, blocking their path. Out of the shadows emerges a tall, muscular man with spiky black hair and menacing red eyes. He's holding a staff that's wrapped in bandages, and he looks like he's ready to fight. He introduces himself as Kukai, one of Kurei's most powerful subordinates. His job is to eliminate anyone who gets in the way of Kurei's plans, including our protagonists. He also reveals that he's one of the Four Heavens, a group of 4 elite ninjas who serve as Kurei's right-hand men. Their mission is to protect Kurei and his family at all costs, and they will stop at nothing to achieve that goal. The fight between Rekka and Kakai begins immediately. Rekka tries to attack Kakai with his signature move, the Dragon's Fang, but it's easily blocked by the staff. Just when it seems like Rekka is about to lose, Tokiya steps in and helps him out. Tokiya is a master swordsman, and he quickly takes on Koki. The two fighters exchange blows, and it becomes clear that Tokiya is more than a match for Koki. With the help of Tokiya, Rekka is able to regroup and come up with a new plan. They decide to work together to take down Koki and the other members of the Four Heavens. However, they soon realize that it won't be easy. Koki's Madugu is too powerful, and the other members of the Four Heavens are lurking nearby, waiting for their chance to strike. Despite the odds stacked against them, Rekka and his friends refuse to give up. The episode then flashes back to Tokiya's past to reveal how he became the swordsman he is today. It turns out that Tokiya used to be a member of the Hidden Cloud Village's elite force of ninja known as the Jinchuriki. However, tragedy struck when his Hokage ninja sister was murdered by an unknown assailant. Filled with grief and a thirst for revenge, Tokiya abandoned his village and went into exile. He dedicated his life to honing his sword skills and mastering the art of manipulating water in order to one day avenge his sister's death. Back in the present, Tokiya continues to battle Koki while Rekka and the others try to regroup and come up with a new plan. Tokiya is determined to defeat Koki and avenge his sister, but he's starting to lose hope. Koki's Madugu is just too powerful, and Tokiya is exhausted from fighting. Just when it seems like Tokiya is about to lose, he remembers the reason why he's fighting. He's not fighting for himself, but for his sister who was taken away from him. With renewed determination, Tokiya is able to push through the pain and defeat Koki. With Koki defeated, the team is finally able to move forward and continue their search for Yanagi. However, they soon realize that this is only the beginning. There are still 3 members of the Four Heavens left, and they are all much more powerful than Koki. Despite the danger that lies ahead, Rekka and his friends are determined to save Yanagi and defeat the Kurei clan once and for all. Now let's get back to the recap. Tokiya confronts Koki, one of the Four Heavens. Tokiya steps forward and unsheathes his katana, its blade shimmering with a faint blue light. Koki responds by unleashing a powerful shockwave that sends Tokiya flying backwards. Undeterred, Tokiya quickly recovers and initiates a series of rapid sword strikes aimed at Koki. Koki effortlessly parries each attack with his staff, his expression remaining stoic and unreadable. As the battle rages on, Koki's true form is revealed. It's shown that he controls a powerful mind-controlling Madugu called Jigen Ryu, which gives him the ability to manipulate gravity. The gravity manipulation creates powerful seismic events that shake the ground beneath their feet, making it difficult for Rekka and his friends to move and fight. However, Tokiya is able to use his swordsmanship skills to navigate the shifting terrain and land a series of precise and fluid blows on Koki. The clash of steel on steel echoes through the mansion as Tokiya's katana dances around Koki's staff, forcing him to constantly be on the defensive. Despite being outnumbered, Tokiya manages to hold his own against Koki and his Madugu. He uses his sword to deflect the shockwaves and keep himself grounded amidst the shifting terrain. Tokiya's swordsmanship is on full display as he weaves and bobs, his katana leaving streaks of blue light in its wake. He manages to land a few hits on Koki, drawing blood. However, Koki proves to be a formidable opponent. He uses his Madoog to create fissures in the ground, trying to trap Tokiya. But Tokiya leaps over them with ease. The fight continues to be a tense back and forth as Tokiya struggles to land a decisive blow while avoiding Koki's devastating attacks. Tokiya's Ensui sword, which can manipulate water, is a powerful weapon. He uses it to create powerful water attacks that can slice through Koki's defenses. Koki, sensing the threat, counters with even more powerful shockwaves and earthquakes. The mansion shakes violently as the two fighters exchange blows. The climax of the battle comes when Tokiya manages to get the upper hand and corner Koki. Despite being injured, Koki refuses to give up. He unleashes a final desperate attack, but Tokiya counters with a final powerful water attack. The attack hits its mark and sends Koki crashing to the ground. Defeated. As Koki lies on the ground, he reveals more about his Madogu and the Kurei clan's plans. He tells Tokiya that his Madogu, Jigenryu, is one of the most powerful Earth-style Madogu. It allows him to manipulate gravity and create powerful earthquakes. He also reveals that the Kurei clan is planning to use a powerful sealing technique to capture the nine-tailed fox and its chakra. Tokiya, however, remains focused on his mission to defeat the Kurei clan and avenge his sister. Tokiya defeats Koki and learns more about his sister's murder and the true identity of her killer, but his journey for revenge is not over yet. The team is now united in their goal to rescue Yanagi and defeat Kurei. They move forward, ready to face the remaining members of the Four Heavens. The episode ends with a shot of the mansion, looming ominously in the darkness. The battle between Rekka and the Kurei clan is far from over, and the stakes have just been raised. And that's it for episode 8 of Flame of Rekka. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have for you a full recap of Flame of Rekka Episode 9. In this episode, we get a new opponent, which is also our main antagonist for this series. Also, I want to apologize in advance if the quality of the video is not that good. That's because some files were lost, so I had to remake the editing file from scratch. So if you do notice any mistake, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. Now let's begin. Episode 9 is titled The Flame of the Hokage and the Dragon of Kurei. And it starts off with Rekka and his team moving deeper into Karan Mori's mansion. There they meet up with Domon and Fuko. Fuko is still pretty pissed off at Rekka because he decided to help out Kahaku even though she betrayed them. But before they can argue, suddenly the ground beneath them shakes, and portraits of Karan Mori fall from the walls surrounding them. From the shadows, a pair of eyes open up, staring straight at them. Then a man steps out. He introduces himself as Kurei, the guardian of Karan Mori, and then he unleashes his demonic flame. Before anyone can react, he already closes in on them. Just when things look bleak, Tokiya jumps in front of everyone, deflecting Kurei's attack. But Kurei is too powerful. He overpowers Tokiya, sending him flying backwards. Tokiya crashes through a window. As Kurei approaches the group, he says that they should have stayed away from here. But Rekka, filled with determination, stands up and says that they came to rescue Tokiya, and that they won't leave without him. Enraged, Kurei grabs Rekka, lifts him up and throws him towards a wall. He tells Rekka that he is weak and unworthy of being called a Hokage. Rekka gets up, shocked by what he just said. Suddenly, images of the past flash before his eyes. He sees the old Hokage, who turns out to be his father, being congratulated by the village for having a child. Then he sees himself as a baby being passed around. Kurei appears and grabs baby Rekka, saying that he should have been the one to inherit the mantle of the Hokage. Filled with rage, he throws Rekka away. It's revealed that Rekka is actually the son of the current Hokage leader. His father decided to keep this a secret to protect Rekka. Furious, Rekka is ready to fight, but Kure mocks him, saying that he isn't strong enough. Before he could attack, Fuko jumps in. She takes a stance and summons her own flames. But this doesn't faze Cory at all. He simply swats her away like a fly. Next, Domon steps in, but he too gets quickly defeated. Rekka, angry and worried about his friends, steps in. He and Kurai exchange blows. But once again, Rekka finds himself overpowered. Kurai tells him that his fire is weak and that he is nothing but a disappointment. Rekka is determined to prove him wrong. He unleashes his blue dragon, but even that is no match for the strength of Kure. Kure attacks Rekka, but he dodges at the last moment. Then he runs towards Cory, distracting him long enough for Fuko and Domon to recover. Rekka kicks Cory, but he easily blocks the attack. Cory tells him that he is just a kid and that he needs to learn some manners. With a flick of his finger, he sends Rekka flying backwards. Rekka crashes into a pillar. He struggles to get up, but Kure grabs him by the collar and pulls him up. They move outside. Kure asks Rekka if he finally understands how much of a gap there is between them. He says that he is a joke and that he shouldn't even exist. Rekka tells him to shut up and tries to attack, but once again he is swatted away. Kure taunts him, telling him that he is just a failure and that he will never surpass him. He tells Rekka that he is the strongest of the Hokage clan. Rekka is shocked. He asks him why he would say something like that. Kure responds that he knows what it means to be strong and that he is the only one who can surpass the previous Hokage. He admits that he is Rekka's older brother. Rekka is confused. Kure explains that he is the son of Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, and that he was born to a concubine. He tells Rekka that he should have been the one to become the Hokage, but he was seen as an unlucky omen because he had red eyes and was abandoned. He tells Rekka that he will make him pay for what he did to him. Rekka refuses to believe that Kure is his brother. He tells him that he is crazy and that he needs to stop. But Kure is relentless. He attacks Rekka, telling him that he will show him the true meaning of strength. Suddenly, flashbacks appear again. This time, Rekka sees his mother being burned alive by Kure. He also sees himself as a baby being tossed around by his father. Kure appears and tells him that he is the one who killed his mother and that he will make him suffer for it. Rekka is horrified. He refuses to believe that Kure is his brother. But Kure is not done yet. He attacks Rekka again, telling him that he will make him pay for what he did to him. Rekka is overwhelmed by the power of Kure. He is unable to defend himself. Kure tells him that he is weak and that he is nothing compared to him. He says that he is the strongest Hokage and that he will prove it to him. Rekka is shocked. He asks him why he would say something like that. Kure responds that he knows what it means to be strong and that he is the only one who can surpass the previous Hokage. Rekka is confused. Kure explains that he is the son of Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, and that he was born to a concubine. He tells Rekka that he should have been the one to become the Hokage, but he was seen as an unlucky omen because he had red eyes and was abandoned. He tells Rekka that he will make him pay for what he did to him. Rekka refuses to believe that Kure is his brother. He tells him that he is crazy and that he needs to stop. But Kure is relentless. He attacks Rekka, telling him that he will show him the true meaning of strength. Suddenly, flashbacks appear again. This time, Rekka sees his mother being burned alive by Kure. He also sees himself as a baby being tossed around by his father. Kure appears and tells him that he is the one who killed his mother and that he will make him suffer for it. Rekka is horrified. He refuses to believe that Kure is his brother. But Kure is not done yet. He attacks Rekka again, telling him that he will make him pay for what he did to him. Rekka is overwhelmed by the power of Kure. He is unable to defend himself. Kure tells him that he is weak and that he is nothing compared to him. He says that he is the strongest Hokage and that he will prove it to him. We see Fuko, Dodon, and Tokiya approaching them. They try to help Rekka, but it's too late. Kure has already attacked. He uses his fire to push them away. Rekka falls to his knees. He looks up at Kure with determination in his eyes. Rekka tells Kure that he won't let him hurt his friends. He stands up and charges at him. But before he can reach him, Kure disappears. Suddenly, Kure reappears behind Rekka. He grabs him by the collar and lifts him up. He tells Rekka that he is weak and that he is nothing but a disappointment. He says that he is the strongest Hokage and that he will prove it to him. He opens his hand, revealing a blue orb of energy. He releases it. It flies towards Rekka. Rekka closes his eyes, waiting for the end, but it never comes. He opens his eyes. He sees that he is still alive. He looks up at Kure, who is staring at him with a smirk on his face. And that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time. Hey guys, welcome back to another week, another episode recap. Today we're going to be talking about Flame of Recca episode 7. So let's get right into it. The episode starts off where episode 6 left off with our three heroes having just defeated Gashin, the Scarecrow Man, and they're on their way to finding Yanagi and rescuing her. Now, moving through the halls of Koran Mori's mansion, they realize how dark it is. Apparently, the windows are sealed shut and locked from the outside so no light can get in or out. That means they have to rely on whatever lights they bring with them, and they find another room with a door that doesn't open. So they split up. Rekka and Fuko take one route, Domon Ishijima, the brawler of the group, takes another. They don't really have a plan. They're kind of just wandering around. But after a while, Rekka and Fuko find a dead end. There's a wall in front of them and they can't go any further. Meanwhile, Domon comes across a room with what looks like a big stone statue in the center of it. As he gets closer, however, the stone statue raises its arms and comes to life in front of Domon's eyes. We soon find out that this is no ordinary statue. Its name is Sakito, and it is the stone guardian of Koran Mori's mansion. It is said that anyone who steps foot in the courtyard must face the stone guardian, and those who lose the match are forever trapped inside the mansion. Sakito was created by one of Koran Mori's ancestors, who was a master of earth and stone manipulation. Even today, centuries later, Sakito remains undefeated and continues to guard the mansion. So needless to say, things are not looking too hot for our hero Domon here because he's pretty much a walking powerhouse. His fighting style is all brawn and no brains, and normally that works out for him, but he's facing someone who is literally made of stone. Now, Sakito isn't just a mindless killing machine, though. It's a lot smarter than your average enemy. It taunts Domon, trying to get inside his head and make him lose his cool. Sakito knows that if it can break Domon's spirit, then it will have won the match. But Domon refuses to back down. He keeps attacking, even though he knows that it's not going to do anything. As the fight goes on, Domon becomes more and more frustrated. He's never felt this helpless before. Usually he's the one doing the damage, but now he's the one taking it. We start to see doubt creep into his mind. Maybe he's not cut out for this. Maybe he should have stayed home. Suddenly, Sakito lands a vicious attack that sends Domon crashing into a pillar. It's over. Sakito is the victor. Domon is too weak to continue. Just as Sakito is about to deliver the final blow, however, a voice rings out. It's Kage Hoshi, who's still watching from the shadows. She tells Domon that he can still win, that he just needs to believe in himself. With that, she disappears. But not before leaving behind a present for Domon. It's a small box. Inside the box is a ring. It looks ancient and powerful. Kage Hoshi explains that this is a madug, a tool that can enhance the user's abilities. This particular madug is called the Saturn's Ring. It's said to be one of the most powerful artifacts in existence. When Domon puts the ring on, he feels a surge of power. It's like nothing he's ever experienced before. Suddenly, he feels confident again. He stands back up and tells Sakito that he's not giving up. With a newfound determination, Domon charges at Sakito. The two battle fiercely. It's close, but it looks like Domon is starting to gain the upper hand. After all, this is an opponent who's meant to be unbeatable, and I think we all know how that's going to go. The animation here is top-notch. The fight scenes are always so exciting to watch, but this one is especially thrilling. You can really feel the tension building as the battle goes on. Just when it looks like Domon might actually pull off the impossible, though, Sakito lands a critical hit. Domon falls to the ground, defeated. But before Sakito can deliver the final blow, something happens. The Saturn's ring glows brightly. It seems to absorb the energy from Sakito's attack, then releases it back, but with even more power. This causes a chain reaction, releasing waves of destructive energy that blast Sakito away. Now that he's free from his opponent, Domon goes on the offensive. He unleashes a barrage of attacks that would make any stone shatter. And with that, Sakito is defeated. As the dust settles, Domon stands victorious. He helped his friends and he did it in style. Now that they've defeated the Stone Guardian, our heroes are free to move on. But before they can take their next step, they hear a voice. It's Tokiya Mikagami. He's been watching them the whole time. He tells them that he's there to rescue Yanagi too, and that he's not afraid to fight Karan Mori. The episode ends with Tokiya joining the group as they head deeper into the mansion. Okay, so let's talk about some of the themes explored in this episode. One of the things I love about this show is the way it handles its characters. In this episode, we get to see a different side of Domon. We see him at his weakest, most vulnerable point. He's injured, beaten, and mentally drained. But he never gives up. He keeps fighting even though he knows he's not strong enough. It's a really powerful message, one that I think a lot of people can relate to. Another thing I want to talk about is the animation. This episode has some of the best animation I've seen in a while. The fight between Domon and Sakito is really well done. The action is fluid, fast-paced, and exciting to watch. The animation really helps to sell the tension of the fight. You can really feel the power of each attack. Finally, I want to talk about the ending. Tokiya's arrival is a really interesting development. He's been a minor character up until this point, but it looks like he's going to play a bigger role in the story going forward. I'm really curious to see how he fits into the team and what his motivations are. Overall, I thought this was a great episode. It was well-paced, action-packed, and emotionally resonant. I'm really excited to see where the story goes next. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my recap of Flame of Recca Episode 7. If you did, please leave a like. It really helps me out. Let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comments. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you back for the next episode. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, how's it going? Back again with another amazing episode of Flame of Recca. Episode 10, Clash of Flames, The Two Hokage. This episode is going to have lots of action, lots of revelations, so let's get started. As we pick up from the last episode, our protagonist Rekka is fighting his half-brother, his older half-brother, the big baddie, the coolest character in the show, Kirei. As we can see here, Kirei is taking Rekka's attack head-on with no effort at all. With his demonic flames, he pushes Rekka back, pushing him further and further until Rekka falls down on his knees. Here, Kirei gets close to Rekka and begins to taunt him, saying that he's weak, saying that he doesn't deserve the power that he has, saying that he'll never amount to anything. Kirei also reveals that he knows that Rekka has lost control of his power and is afraid of it. But here, Kirei says that there's no point in hiding it anymore because he will defeat Rekka and absorb his power anyway. In response to this, Rekka gets angry and stands back up on his feet. He's going to go on another rampage, but before he can, Kirei strikes first, sending Rekka flying backwards once again. Once again, Rekka is hurting, but he won't give up. He gets back up on his feet and he tells Kirei that he may be able to overpower him, but he will never break him. And then Rekka takes a deep breath and tries to calm himself down. He tries to regain control of his power. But unfortunately for Rekka, it seems like it's too late. Kirei is much stronger than him, and Kirei is relentless. While Rekka is trying to calm himself down and gain control of his power, Kirei attacks, attacking with everything he has, and each attack is more devastating than the last. And here we can see that Rekka's friends, Domon, Fuko, and Tokiya, are watching this battle unfold, and they are worried sick about Rekka. Domon wants to jump in and help, but Fuko holds him back. Tokiya is also worried, but he's trying to come up with a plan. All three of them know that if Kure defeats Rekka and absorbs his power, then he will become even more powerful than he already is. And none of them want that to happen. But so far, they haven't been able to come up with a good enough plan. Meanwhile, the battle continues, and it seems like Rekka is losing all hope. But just as Kure is about to deliver a fatal blow to Rekka, suddenly, someone jumps in front of him, stopping the attack. It's a mysterious figure cloaked in black robes, and none of them can see his face. And then suddenly, the mysterious figure removes his hood and reveals himself to be none other than Kage Hoshi, the mysterious priestess who has been manipulating events from the shadows. So far, we don't know what her true intentions are, but it seems like she's here to help Rekka. But when she steps in and stops Kure's attack, Kure becomes enraged and turns his attention to her. He demands to know who she is and what she's doing here. But instead of answering, Kage Hoshi attacks. She uses her own unique fire style to fight back against Kure, holding him off and buying Rekka some time to recover. While the two of them are battling it out, Rekka takes a moment to catch his breath. He's still hurting from the previous attack, but he's also confused. He doesn't understand why Kage Hoshi is helping him or who she is. Suddenly, Kage Hoshi turns to Rekka and reveals something shocking. She is not just a priestess. She is also the same person who sent Rekka into the future 400 years ago. She is his mother. She explains that she had to send Rekka away because she knew that he was destined for a terrible fate if he stayed in the past. She also reveals that she has been protecting Yanagi, who is the reincarnation of her own hime, the princess she was sworn to protect in the past. Suddenly, Kage Hoshi turns back to face Kier. She tells him that it's time for him to die. She attacks Kier once again, but this time she does so with a much more powerful move. However, Kier is still able to hold his ground against her attacks. He is strong, but he is also curious. He asks his mother why she is really protecting Rekka and why she sent him to the future 400 years ago. His mother hesitates for a moment, but eventually she decides to tell him the truth. She tells him that Rekka is not just her son, he is the hope of the Hokage clan. He has the power to bring balance to the clan and end the cycle of violence that has been plaguing them for generations. She also tells him that Rekka is the only one who can defeat him. Suddenly, Kure becomes enraged. He attacks his mother, but she easily dodges the attack. She tells Kure that he is wrong if he thinks he can defeat her. She is the one who taught him how to use his powers. She is the one who trained him. And although she is old, she is still very powerful. While the two of them are battling it out, Rekka is watching. He is still recovering from his previous injuries, but he is also listening intently to his mother. He is learning about his heritage and his destiny. Suddenly, Rekka gets angry. He is tired of running away from his problems. He is tired of being afraid of his power. He is ready to face his destiny and become the Hokage clan's hope. He stands up and begins to walk towards the battle. He is going to help his mother. He is going to stop Kire. He is going to protect his friends. But when he takes a step forward, his power begins to spin out of control. Flames begin to erupt from the ground around him. It seems like he's going to have another one of his power loss episodes, but this time, he won't let it happen. He takes a deep breath and focuses on the flames. He reaches out his hand and touches them. And suddenly, something amazing happens. The flames listen to him. They obey him. He has regained control of his power, and it seems like he has become even stronger than before. He runs towards the battle and jumps in just as Kier is about to deliver a fatal blow to his mother. He protects her with his body, and then he turns to face Kire. And here, the two brothers face off against each other. It seems like the battle is far from over. But the next scene shows us that Rekka has gained control of his power. He is standing tall and confident. His flames are under his control and they are burning bright. It seems like he has become stronger than ever before. The episode ends here, setting up a new conflict between the two Hokage brothers. So that was a full recap of Flame of Rekka Episode 10. Let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below. Which character is your favorite? What do you think is going to happen in the next episode? Let me know in the comments below. I really enjoy reading your comments and interacting with you guys. So keep them coming. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more episodes. I upload episodes every week, so there should always be fresh content for you guys to enjoy. If you haven't checked out my social media yet, please go ahead and follow me there. I post updates and interact with fans there as well. Also, I post art and stuff like that. So if you're interested, go ahead and follow me there as well. With all that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.